So Margaret Nyakango alikamatwa na watu wengi wameongea mambo mingi sana kumhusu, lakini kwangu mimi nafurahia sana kwamba alikamatwa, and because that Margaret Nyakango at least sasa ameunganisha Wakenya na tuko na discussion ama conversation ambayo inatuhusu na ambayo inaweza tusaidia. Because you see, the moment you see viongozi wa serikali wakikosa kusikizana on the basis of wastage and on the basis ya why are we doing this to the Kenyan mwananchi, then know that there is a problem. Because Margaret Nyakango is equally a member of the government as everybody else, including wale wenye wanamkamata na wale wenye wanatumana ndio wakamatwe. Because you see, for the longest time, the government of Kenya has lacked legitimacy. And I'm not talking about Ruto's government. I'm not talking about Uhuru's government. I'm talking about the government of Kenya, not the president, not the deputy president, not individuals. I'm talking about the government systems in Kenya lacking legitimacy. Nimesikiza watu wengi, maloya, majournalist, maanalyst, watu wengi sana wakiongea na wanasema kwamba Margaret Nyakango is doing that which is right for the people of Kenya, because the information that she is speaking about how government has been wasting, sijui ati salary yake, pesa yenye analipwa akienda kwa documentation na zile pesa zinaachiliwa from the treasury ni 3 times. Yani kama analipwa 10,000 kwa documents zenye zimeindicate salary yake ni ya pesa ngapi, ameandikiwa ni 30,000. Anauliza swali, why all this wastage? Anakamatwa. Because these are secrets you are not supposed to speak in public. Anasema vizuri that the government has been borrowing money for development purpose, lakini pesa ikifika Kenya haitumiki kufanya development, inatumika kwa njia zingine. So she is questioning, why are we using money that is meant for development kupea watu binafsi na kuharibu na recurrent expenditure, kulipa watu mishahara, alafu tena hiyo mzigo yote inawekelewa Mkenya. Instead of the government answering these questions and starting to do, you know, the last time I heard the Treasury CS, Professor Njuguna Ndongo akiwa Spice FM, alisema kwamba he cannot answer whether the loans that Kenyans are paying and the loans that are making us to have all these high taxation, he cannot be able to explain whether they are legitimate or illegitimate. He cannot be able to explain the CS for Treasury. He cannot be able to explain whether the loans that we are paying have been used in a good way or they have been misused, whether the money has been stolen or it has been used in the manner in which it was supposed to be used. He cannot answer. He needs someone else to come and do and analyze data for him so that he can be able to use that data to explain. 1 year after being in power, you are still stamping for Kenyans to pay debts that you don't know whether those debts came to Kenya or they are just figures that are written somewhere. Alafu tunalipa pesa bila kujua hata kwa nini tunalipa. When Margaret Nyakango anauliza maswali kama hiyo, instead of the government responding and telling us this is what happened and this is what is supposed to happen, or government maybe coming up and arresting, putting to question those who are being accused by Margaret Nyakango, wanaenda kuamusha kesi zenye ama wanamkamata on flimsy reasons that nobody can even understand. Even if you tell a class 2 dropout, umwambie amekamatwa juu ya hii, he will tell you that you are not reasonable. That means you are lacking legitimacy. Tumeona mtu kama David Ndie. David Ndie is the chairman of the economic advisors to the president. But few days ago tuliona akisema he cannot go down with the government. He will agree with everything else, but he cannot be able to agree and he cannot take responsibility when it comes to milking Kenyans, selling lies na kufinya wananchi. That tells you there is a problem with the government. So here comes a concern. Now that the government is illegitimate, and we can be able to see that clearly the government is not working for the interest of the Kenyan mwananchi, and they don't have the interest of the Kenyan mwananchi who have all the sovereign power, what are Kenyans supposed to do? Because one, we cannot continue trusting Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has always called for mass action. He has always called for demonstration na watu wakakufa, watu wakaenda wapi. As the opposition leader, after all these losses of this demonstration and whatever he has been calling in the name of public good, he is always called for a meeting. Recently he has been out of the dialogue committee. Everything was agreed on except the cost of living, ile yenye inahusu mwananchi. Everything about him was agreed. Everything about the president was agreed. Lakini hawaku agree on the cost of living and things that concern the people of Kenya. And now we are going for a referendum, which I can tell you, if Raila Odinga will partner with William Ruto, that referendum will pass. And that constitution changes will pass. Not because Kenyans need it, but because Raila Odinga as a person and William Ruto as a person, both with selfish interest, will benefit from those laws that we are about to pass in a referendum or in parliament. All those will pass except what Kenyans wanted. So the question I'm asking you, Kenyans, now that we can be able to see clearly that the government is lacking legitimacy, what are Kenyans supposed to do? Are we just supposed to sit down and wait for Raila Odinga, who has never saved anyone, to save us? Are we just to sit down and watch those news on your TVs and listen to them on radio stations and watch them and have a conversation in social media and then wait for the next government? What actions are we supposed to do?